Hey, what's up, everybody? Second upload of the day. I know. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody that came by the birthday stream today. For everybody that said happy birthday in the comments, you guys are amazing. I absolutely feel the love. I love y'all, and I really appreciate it. On to the story for this evening, I guess. The game Helldivers 2 met with fanfare, really. Created by independent developer studio Arrowhead Games, but published by Sony, which meant that it had AAA publishing money behind it, was touted as one of the better video games to come out of the beginning of this year. Most everybody absolutely loved it once they got their hands on it, and it blew up in record time. Unfortunately, there was a big blow up today, I guess, on the interwebs, regarding a message that they posted to Twitter. Due to technical issues at launch, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6th, all new Helldiver 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have a linked Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. PlayStation Network accounts are free and easy to set up using this link. We understand, while this may be an inconvenience to some of you, this step will help us to continue to build a community that you are all proud to be a part of. Many thanks for your continued support of Helldivers 2, Sony Interactive Entertainment. The problem with this is that it didn't happen for months. Today is May 3rd. The game was released on February 8th, with Pirate Software saying not happening. Removing access from Steam players unless they make a PSN account and link it months after release is absurd. Review changed to negative, and I have filed for a refund. He then doubled down and ended up reiterating his point by saying it didn't make sense that they would do this. Also, Mudahar ended up saying the same thing. Fucking hate this trend of having multiple accounts and services for every online game that I want to play. You can't help but agree, but that really isn't the biggest problem. PlayStation Network has not been the best network in the world historically. It's only available in roughly 60, 65, 69, I think, countries in the globe. There's nearly 3 times that many countries that don't have PlayStation Network, including that of Egypt, a whole lot of the EU, and most all of Africa, not including South Africa. And what's worse, people that are reporting that they should have PlayStation Network access or do have no option to be able to link that account to Steam because in their country, it isn't available to them. Yet they were still able to play Helldivers up until this point. And while I can understand that Sony would want to bring all of this in-house to the best of their ability, perhaps because they're trying to create their own launcher, who knows, they haven't always been the most secure place to have your player information. And I'm not 100% sure, but they may be the most widely hacked network of any network that has existed, at least insofar as gaming. I'm not sure I can think of one that has been hacked more than Sony's PlayStation Network has. Just to give you an idea, they were hacked in July of 2008, April of 2011, May of 2011, where personal details from Sony Online Entertainment customers were stolen, and personal data of 77 million Sony PlayStation Network users were stolen 1 month after each other. And then a month later, in June of 2011, Sony Pictures' website got hacked, exposing another million accounts. So if you're keeping track, that is over 100 million accounts just in 2011. Essentially, their entire user database was breached. Names, addresses, phone numbers, everything was leaked. Again, in November of 2014, nearly 100 terabytes of data was stolen from Sony Pictures. In December of 2014, PlayStation Network got taken down by a Christmas DDoS attack. In August of 2017, a hacker group by the name of Our Mind got a hold of all of these Sony PlayStation Network online social media accounts and started posting images and verbiage about how they had stolen a whole bunch of user data. In September of 2023, just last year, there were 2 separate people that reported that they had hacked into Sony. The hacker group Ransomed VC said that they had stolen 260 gigabytes of data and posted 6,000 files online as a sample of what they had taken, saying it was all proprietary. But another hacker, Major Nelson, ended up actually trying to take credit for it on a forum where he posted that Ransomed VC was just trying to gain clout. And then, a month later, in October of 2023, Sony had to notify its own employees of roughly 6,800 current and former employees that their data had been breached due to a series of attacks that had taken place back in May. And of course, in light of this news, you can see the downvoting occurred. Now, this screen cap was taken earlier this morning, but the damage is obviously being done. After looking into this originally, I guess I should say originally, I thought that this perhaps might have been a bit of strategy. You decidedly don't make people end up having to sign up for PlayStation Network until possibly 2 or 3 months afterward, where then you end up making mention that they have to do it by a certain date, so that way you get increased game sales. People are more likely to end up following in suit when they have something to lose, as opposed to having something to gain, I guess. But after looking into this, I don't think that this was necessarily a move on Arrowhead Studios' part. Really, it looks more to me like Sony is trying to write a narrative that Arrowhead doesn't have any control over. The last bit here comes from Pilestead, the CEO of Arrowhead. Hey everyone, in regard to account linking and questions there too, please reference this PlayStation article. If you have any further questions, you can reach out using the contact PlayStation support at the bottom of the page. However, when you click this and actually go to the support article, it talks about how to sign into PlayStation Network, etc., etc. And then it talks about supported PlayStation games on PC. Helldivers 2 is not listed as one of them, which means that it's not one of those that is required, per this FAQ, be signed into PlayStation Network. Now, of course, that looks like something that's going to be updated in its FAQ at some point in the near future. But even still, this looks like one of those things that Sony themselves wasn't even prepared to have to address, and yet are still trying to force feed to the players. And while I get that Sony is relying on this idea of like, well, rules are rules, you can't help but wonder what the people that bought this game in countries that have it wholly unsupported must be thinking, having to read that they couldn't just keep bypassing that reminder that popped up once in a great while, telling them that, by the way, you should probably have a PlayStation Network account. It's kind of weird. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. Thanks so much for coming and checking it out. If you would be so kind as to sub the channel here if you enjoy the content, I would greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, you can come and check me out over at twitch.tv/Onepeg, where I'm live around 7 a.m. just about every single day. Thanks so much for all the love. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Thank you for lending me your eyeballs and your ear holes. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.